Jiu-jitsu wears us down, beats us up, and spits us out. And often we are looking for recovery methods to just speed up that process of off the mat, back to the next session feeling fresh as a daisy. The problem with this reactive approach is it actually doesn't solve the underlying problem, which is a lack of capacity. And I'm here to tell you on this video that the best form of recovery actually has nothing to do with any of these recovery methods in which you have led to believe will actually help you out. So in this video, I'm going to cover the myths, two main ones, the mindset shift that needs to occur, and then the actionable points so that you can take them into your lives and get cracking as soon as possible. So the myths. The recovery rehab industry has been built upon this. The reduction of symptoms. Hundreds of billions get spent on this, whether that be painkillers, anti-inflammatories, ice baths, massages, physiotherapy, physical therapy, chiropractors, saunas, infrared saunas, stem cells, surgery. To be fair, surgeries is not even part of that number. If it was surgeries included, it'd be over trillions. And it's because of this, right? The symptom is the response to a problem. It's not the actual reason for the problem, right? The best form of recovery is reactive. Jiu-jitsu will start to wear us down. Our elbows, our knees in particular, our shoulders, our lower back. And what we do in that moment of shit, holy fuck, we start to enter the realm of all of these recovery methods that are just going to absolutely take you with the cleaners and your bank balance. They're going to reduce pain, but the problem's not going to go away because the pain isn't the problem. The pain was never the problem. The pain was the response to the problem. So reactive approaches will keep you chasing your tail and keep you searching for the next next recovery method, installing an ice bath in your house, installing a sauna, buying the car with the massage chair. All of these things, they're very appealing to us jiu-jitsu addicts because we want to improve how fresh we feel for the next session. We want to do more jiu-jitsu. We want to feel better on and off the mats. This stuff is appealing to us, but we need to be very, very careful about when we use it. The mindset shift that must happen for you to really get a grip of this situation is instead of speeding up recovery, you need to think about improving capacity, improving your physical capacity, improving your psychological capacity, because it is a thinking sport. It's also a very physical sport. And if we can improve our physical capacity, we can do more with less stress. Just think about that. If you improve your physical capacity, you as an individual can do more with less of the adverse effects. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Paul Green and I run the Longevity Program, which is a one-to-one online coaching service in which I improve the physical capacity of men of all different shapes and sizes. Some of them are injured, some of them aren't injured, some of them want to get shredded, some of them want to gain weight. In all of these cases here, MCL tear, anterior delt tear, LCL tear, Achilles tendon tear, that specific area just needed to improve its physical capacity. Most cases, it just needs to improve its strength. I don't care if you come to me injured, because at the end of the day, the only thing that needs to be developed is physical capacity. I don't care if you come to me not injured and you want to be able to train jiu-jitsu every single day of your life. the exact same solution is increase your physical capacity. Obviously, there's more to it than that. There's a bit more nuance, fill in the gaps. But the ultimate goal is increasing your physical capacity so you can do more on and off the mats with way less of the adverse effects. Because these men address the problem at its root cause. They do not react to symptoms. They use symptoms as a guide. If this approach is something that you're interested in, the link is in the description to book onto a call with me and discuss your future on the longevity program. Right, capacity. Where people seem to get this mixed up is they don't actually know their physical limit. You know, we can do jiu-jitsu and we can feel like great one day and feel like shit the next day. But jiu-jitsu is that complicated. It's virtually impossible for you to work out your physical limit by doing jiu-jitsu. And because jiu-jitsu is most people's main form of exercise, it's, again, is virtually impossible, right? So capacity basically means what is your physical limit. And the only way you can know your physical limit is if you push yourself to your physical limit through a very specific movement. You'd work this out by, in the gym, let's say, for example, you want to know the physical capacity of your knees, you would do as many reps of a movement in which challenged your knees through a full range of motion. Do you know what I mean? If you're going to get 80 kg in 6 reps, you couldn't for the life of you do 7 reps. That is the physical capacity of your knees. Does that make sense? Another way you could look at this is with a fancy drawing. Physical capacity. Let's go here, right? Your current physical capacity is there. When that's full, symptoms start to spill out. Drop, right? And people are reacting to these little droplets out here instead of just trying to increase the size of the cup so that it's like that. So it just holds more stress. Does that make sense? Good. So now you've identified you can, regardless of age, genetics, or an injury, improve your physical capacity. You've got no excuses. Excuses are absolutely nowhere to be seen on this channel because I've just showed you proof that these blokes of all different shapes and sizes, all different injuries, all different age groups improve their capacity and get rid of some horrific injuries. Or, at the very worst, massively increase their quality of life and reduce their symptoms. Okay, physical capacity. The fastest way. This is exactly what you came for. The fastest way you can improve your physical capacity. It's get strong. There's no beating around the bush. You cannot improve your physical capacity without getting strong. So then, you've got to think, what is the best way to get strong? The best way to get strong is to get a gym membership and have the intent to increase what you can physically lift every single week. Now, there's a lot of arguments and there's a lot of competitiveness in the fitness space at the moment to what is the best strength training methods or functional strength training methods out there. If your goal is to get strong and improve your physical capacity, the best method is to go to a gym. Unfortunately, a kettlebell that weighs 24 kilograms or it weighs 50 kilograms or it weighs 100 kilograms, it gets to a point where it's no longer heavy enough and it costs a fortune to buy another kettlebell. Loadability is the most important thing in choosing exercises that fill up your training program to improve your physical capacity. You need to choose exercises in which you can simply just go, extra weight, cool, and aspire to get stronger, because it's not just about, oh, I want to get strong. You need to have the maintenance of intent to get stronger every single week. That's not going to happen every single week. Most weeks it will if you train properly with good intensity, tempo, and execution. But there's no other way around this. You can't do kettlebells, you can't do bodyweight training because it's just not going to get you as strong, as fast as possible. What do the strongest people in the world do? They don't beat around the bush. With jiu-jitsu, because jiu-jitsu is a physically demanding martial art and a psychologically demanding martial art, that does kind of tax the nervous system. I'd always err on the side of caution. You don't need to lift every day. You don't need to lift 5 times a week. If you think you can either stick to 2 or 3 times per week in the gym doing weights, I'd probably err on the side of caution. I'd probably go for 2. Stick to 2. Two full body sessions per week. So you're training your joints and your muscles twice per week. You've got people in the gym that train their muscles once per week, but they do loads of volume, loads of junk volume. If you're in the gym training with proper intensity, you don't need to train as much as you think. Often, less but better is 10 times better than just winging it and doing loads of random crap. Eat like a king. In particular, eat for high performance. And that doesn't mean eating salads and boring food every day. It just means filling your diet with whole foods that digest really well and provide you with energy for high performance. If high performance is the goal, welcome to the channel, because if low performance is the goal, you'd be off somewhere else looking at another thing. But if high performance is the goal, which it should always be, and not just in the weight room, on the mat as well, the most important meal of the day is your pre-gym meal, which should have loads of carbohydrates in there. So you need to eat simple and complex carbohydrates before you train, because that way your body has carbs in the bloodstream ready to go for a highly demanding training session. Without great fuel before a training session, you will never get strong, because your performance in the gym will be terrible or inconsistent. You won't get strong, you won't increase your capacity. Deload weeks. You cannot get strong every single week. Every 4, 5 or 6 weeks, depending on individual factors, external stress that's coming in, sleep deprivation from the kids, family life, work. Every so often you need to put in a deload week where you just calm everything down, put the brakes on everything. Jiu-jitsu, weights. Doesn't mean not do it, just calm it down to give your body a chance to regenerate physically and mentally. So deload weeks need to come into it. I'll mention a little bit more on deload weeks on the next slide. Fastest way to improve your brain capacity. Sleep like a baby. Sleep as much as you can. 7, 8, 9, even 10 hours. And if that means going to bed earlier, obviously going to bed 2 hours early is 10 times better than staying up and watching 5 episodes of a Netflix series. I'm in a very fortunate situation where I can literally tell you I am benefiting from this massively. It's literally the biggest superpower that I've experienced over the past 6 months. I'm in a fortunate situation where I don't have kids. I don't have a loud house. I can go to bed when I want and wake up when I want every single day. And every single day I wake up feeling superhuman. I can honestly say that. And I would love for you to actually do that and feel it as well. And it's something I'm massive on with my clients. Getting them to get the hours in. Put their phone down. Have a technology-free bedroom. Maybe read a couple of pages of a book before they drop off. To double that up, deleting alcohol, weed, and porn from their life. Alcohol and weed massively reduces blood flow to the brain, slows everything down, reduces mitochondrial function to the brain. Porn massively destroys dopamine receptors, fucking ruins your brain to pieces. Another way you can improve your brain capacity is just to be a little bit more organised. Log your lifting and log your jiu-jitsu sessions. Specifically, lifting, what exercises you've done, how many repetitions you've done, and what weight you lifted. Jiu-jitsu, what techniques you covered, whether you were working on something specifically as part of that jiu-jitsu session, and whether you got it off in sparring. And maybe just a sentence on how was your ability to learn that session? Was your ability to absorb information and put it into practice pretty good? Having the ability to monitor fatigue. So when your body is feeling like motivation's a little bit low, enthusiasm, appetite for life on and off the mat is just a little bit getting a bit stressed, struggling to just cope with everything physically, mentally. Having the ability to hold your hands up and go, you know what? I'm feeling a little bit off here. I need to do something about this. So this is warning sign. You look at the data, you look at your lifting. Has your lifting started to plateau? Has your jiu-jitsu started to plateau? Couldn't for the life of me absorb information today. Then it's time to bring in a deload week. 7 days of 50% less intensity, 50% less volume in the weights room and on the mats. How does that look? What does it look like on the mats? On the mat, it looks like you literally putting 5 out of 10 effort into the whole training session and half the rounds during sparring. Give your body and your mind a full chance to have a breather. And after you do this, for about 3 days, I'm going to make myself smaller because it went blurry because it's dark. After about 3 days, you're going to feel ready to go crazy again. And the real challenge is actually doing a full deload week for 7 days. Because I can guarantee after that 7 days, you are going to be absolutely dying to send it with weightlifting, getting stronger and increasing your capacity and brain capacity on the mats. You're going to be absorbing information like you never have done before. The problem is with most people, they go throughout most of their life doing all the opposite of this, right? They will grapple most days. They will never have a deload week. Their brain always feels like mush. Physically, they always feel like shit. Trust me when I say this. Most weeks, you should be improving your physical capacity. Most weeks. And you probably laugh at me even saying that because it just doesn't happen. Because it's not for that you're lacking motivation. It's just you're lacking a system that just goes, mate, you need to calm it down, big lad. Because what happens is you end up stuck here. You end up stuck in like a fatigue. You're just mentally drained, physically drained, and you stay there for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I'm not saying that you're always going to get injured in this. Yeah, of course, you're a high risk of getting an injury. But you're operating at 50%. Whereas if you just had a breather, you'd go back to 100% again. Back to that cup analogy. Turn your cup into a barrel and keep increasing the size of that fucking thing. And just to finish off, let me draw an absolutely terrible cup for you. This is your current cup. And typical recovery methods have you reacting to all these little drops, drying the little drops, dry them, get rid of the symptoms. However, your cup is still fucking small. It's still shit. And it's getting smaller. Every day, you do not choose to get strong, eat like a fucking king, delete porn, weed, and alcohol. It's getting smaller. And your body's ability to cope with the physical demands in which you're placed on get worse. However, thankfully, you've discovered this video and realized that you can absolutely increase the size of the cup. You can increase the size of it. You can make it fucking massive. However, it only starts with intent. Because everything's a fantasy. I'm drawing left-handed, right-handed, and I'm a lefty. Bosh. Intent. Now, if you want to do it with me on a one-to-one basis, the link is in the description. If not, then I will see you tomorrow on the next one.